Maria stood in the dim light of the small attic room she called home. The wooden beams creaked under the weight of 1,000 dreams, but today felt different. Today, she felt a spark of hope igniting something within her as she gazed out of the small window. She watched the sun rise over the busy town. The vibrant colors painted a picture in her mind. Blues mixed with soft pinks and yellows, like a canvas ready for a masterpiece. She often found herself lost in thoughts of vibrant landscapes and lively portraits. Maria had admired art ever since she was a little girl, but she had never held a paintbrush herself. Instead, her hands were worn from scrubbing floors and washing dishes in the grand homes of wealthy families. Although she worked tirelessly as a maid, part of her heart longed to break free from her daily chores and create something beautiful. She would often glance through magazines at the local library, filled with stunning images of famous paintings and brilliant artists who lived lives filled with color and creativity. Maria dreamed of standing in front of a well-lit canvas, feeling the smooth brushes in her hands and letting her imagination flow onto the blank surface. While her friends talked about boys and gossip, Maria dreamed of enchanting landscapes and swirling galaxies instead. One crisp morning, she received a new assignment that would change everything. Maria was to work in the home of Mr. Thompson, a rich art collector known for his extravagant parties and stunning collection of paintings from around the world. She packed her modest belongings and made her way to his lavish mansion, her heart racing with excitement and nervousness as she approached the door. She could admire the grandeur of the house. Statues adorned the manicured gardens, and windows glittered in sunlight like diamonds. Beneath her breath, Maria whispered words of encouragement. This could be my chance. She wanted to learn more about art, even if just by being near it each day. The moment she stepped inside, it felt as if she had entered another world. Her eyes widened at the sight of artwork lining the walls, dramatic portraits, serene landscapes, and abstract pieces that buzzed with energy. Each painting seemed to tell a story, pulling her closer into their painted worlds. "Welcome," boomed Mr. Thompson's voice from across the hall. He was tall and wore a tailored suit that draped elegantly over his frame. Despite his intimidating appearance, there was warmth in his crooked smile. "You must be Maria. I hope you're ready for a day filled with work, but perhaps we can find some time to enjoy the art as well?" Maria nodded shyly, unable to speak as she drank in her surroundings as Mr. Thompson led her further inside. He pointed out various paintings, explaining their origins and stories behind each piece. She listened intently, captivated by his passion for art. Every stroke of paint on canvas seemed to whisper secrets to her ears. Maria couldn't wait for her first break, so she could skim through the overwhelming beauty surrounding her. For now, she focused on her tasks: dusting furniture, vacuuming floors, and polishing silverware. Each chore completed with utmost care. After hours of hard work, Maria finally sat down on a bench in the backyard surrounded by blooming roses and chirping birds. It was quiet there. Away from the demands of work, she found a place to let her imagination roam free. As she rested under the shade of a large oak tree, Maria's eyes wandered back to the windows where glimpses of paintings flickered in reflection. Each painting held countless colors and textures that made her heart race with excitement. The passion within grew stronger as she imagined what it would be like to create such beauty herself. Though her reality was filled with daily chores and responsibilities, dreams refused to let go of their grip on her heart. What if one day she could paint something that made people feel something deep within? Could someone like her ever have the chance? Over time, Maria couldn't help but feel drawn toward those paintings like a moth to flame. With every week that passed at Mr. Thompson's house, that yearning only grew stronger. It became both a blessing and a burden. More than anything else in the world, she wanted to transform those dreams into reality and let her creativity flow like an untamed river finding its way home. But she felt trapped by circumstance and fear. With every passing day at Mr. Thompson's elegant home surrounded by opulence and artistry, Maria realized she was standing at a crossroads in life. Little did she know that fate had devised something extraordinary for her. Something that would soon intertwine their lives through art in unexpected ways beyond anything she had ever imagined. It was only moments away before everything changed forever. On her first day at Mr. Thompson's mansion, Maria's heart beat with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. The grand entrance was adorned with a large crystal chandelier, casting sparkling reflections across the marble floor as she stepped inside. The air felt different. A fragrant blend of fresh flowers and polished wood welcomed her into this new world. Mr. Thompson greeted her with a friendly smile, his voice rich and warm as he introduced her to the house and its many rooms. Maria listened attentively, taking in every detail, but her mind was already wandering toward the walls decorated with paintings that seemed to whisper stories she longed to hear. "Feel free to explore a bit before you start your work," Mr. Thompson encouraged. With a nod, Maria felt a tingle of delight course through her. She had permission to wander through the corridors filled with art. Her eyes widened as she moved from room to room, each unveiling its own marvels. One corner held an enormous landscape painting, bursting with greens and golds that captured a serene valley bathed in sunlight. Maria imagined herself standing in that very place, feeling the warmth on her skin and listening to birds sing above her. In another room, vibrant abstract pieces twirled across canvases, layered with splashes of red, blue, and yellow. A feeling of energy radiated from them, drawing Maria closer as she tilted her head and studied the movement within each stroke. What did the artist feel while painting this? She wondered. As she ventured deeper into the mansion, Maria stumbled upon a small gallery that took her breath away. The walls were lined with portraits of people from different eras, their expressions frozen in time. She could almost hear them speaking to her, sharing their joys and sorrows, experiences lost in history. "Ah, I see you found my favorite corner," Mr. Thompson said, suddenly beside her, startled. Maria turned to him, his enthusiasm contagious. "These portraits tell stories of their time, capturing the essence of life back then." "They are beautiful," Maria replied softly, her heart racing as she met his gaze. "Art has a magical ability to transport us," he continued with a twinkle in his eye. "It can communicate feelings words sometimes cannot." His passion ignited an even deeper flame within Maria. She felt her cheeks warm, recognizing how art spoke to her spirit in ways nothing else could. It wasn't just about colors and shapes. It was about connection, with people, emotions, and moments in time. Maria spent her breaks sneaking glances at the paintings that filled the mansion. Her chores felt lighter when she could steal small moments to immerse herself in those canvases. It was like getting lost in a book she couldn't put down. Time slipped away as she discovered new details each time she returned to a piece. A hidden brushstroke or an unexpected color blending perfectly with another. After finishing her chores one afternoon, she found herself in front of a large seascape painting. Waves crashed against rocks painted in shades of deep blue mixed with frothy white curls. Maria felt mesmerized by how lifelike it was. She could almost hear the roar of the ocean and smell the salty air. "What do you think of this one?" Mr. Thompson asked quietly as he stepped into the room behind her. "It's breathtaking," Maria replied honestly, feeling a deep yearning for adventure stir inside her heart. "It makes me want to see the ocean for myself." A soft smile spread across Mr. Thompson's face. "You should. There's so much beauty out there waiting for you." At that moment, standing next to the vibrant canvas filled with blue hues, Maria realized how small yet immense this world was. It was filled with dreams just waiting for someone to dare reach out for them. Their conversation blossomed into more discussions about art and life itself over subsequent days. Each chat opened doors into ideas and possibilities Maria hadn't dared explore before. She learned about the artist's struggles and triumphs, as if they were stories of friends from long ago. However, deep down, Maria also felt a shadow of uncertainty creeping into her thoughts. How could someone like her ever belong among these masterpieces? She wasn't an artist. She was just a maid, bound by obligations and reality. Still, each painting pushed her deeper into dreams of what could be. The rich colors and vivid imagery swirled around in Maria's mind until she began imagining herself wielding a paintbrush, creating stories of her own, all inspired by everything she had seen at Mr. Thompson's house. As days turned into weeks, something inside Maria began to shift. The initial spark of hope transformed into glowing determination fueled by inspiration from Mr. Thompson's extensive collection. If she could find a way to express herself through art like those pieces that surrounded her daily, perhaps sadness and joy could meld together on canvas like paints on a palette. Little did Maria, know that this newfound fascination would set off a chain of events far beyond mere admiration for art. A journey that would lead her down paths she had only dreamed about when peeping through library magazines. Each painted scene around her became more than mere art. It became her guiding star toward a brighter future. As the days passed at Mr. Thompson's mansion, Maria found herself immersed in a routine filled with daily chores. Yet each task became a moment to appreciate the beauty surrounding her. The polished floors sparkled like a fresh canvas as she went from room to room, and her heart swelled with admiration for the art that adorned the walls. During her cleaning duties, Maria noticed details she had previously overlooked. The way the sun peeked through the windows, casting patterns on the floor, reminded her of the delicate brushstrokes in paintings she had seen. Sometimes, while dusting around a large, ornate frame, she would step back and just breathe in the essence of the piece nearby. It was as if the art connected with her on a deeper level, sparking inspiration within her soul. One afternoon, while she meticulously wiped down a beautiful landscape painting of rolling hills and vibrant flowers, Maria felt herself entranced by its depth. Each color blended seamlessly, creating an illusion that made the scene come alive. How did the artist capture this feeling? She mused silently, moments forgetting her task at hand as her imagination wandered. Shaking herself out of it, Maria returned to her cleaning but realized that she had paused longer than intended. She had been lost in thought about how she would express beauty if given the chance. Gradually, it became clear to her that understanding art was more than just admiration. It stirred something inside her. As she continued working closely with the paintings, she honed an almost instinctual talent for noticing the emotions each artwork conveyed. The vibrant reds and oranges in a sunset painted over waves brought a sense of warm nostalgia, reminding her of childhood memories spent by the shore. Meanwhile, somber blues and portraits echoed feelings of longing and heartache, making her reflect on her own life experiences as she glanced at them. One day, while polishing a large gilded frame around a modern, abstract piece bursting with chaotic energy and playful colors, Maria found herself entranced once again. It felt as though all her silent struggles were reflected in those brushstrokes. Colors clashing but ultimately forming something simultaneously beautiful. Art really does reflect life, she whispered to herself. The more time she spent cleaning these extraordinary pieces, the more she began to feel in tune with their essence. Maria discovered that she could identify subtle shifts in color and texture that many might overlook. She started picturing what each artist might have felt while creating. Perhaps joy, sadness, confusion, emotions bubbling beneath the surface of every stroke. As these revelations unfolded, Maria shared her thoughts with Mr. Thompson whenever they crossed paths. "It's fascinating how a painting can carry such emotion," she remarked one day while they were standing in front of an ethereal painting of a starry night sky. "Yes," he replied thoughtfully. "Many artists pour their hearts into their work. They channel their experiences into every piece they create." Over time, Mr. Thompson noticed Maria's growing appreciation for art and began suggesting books on artists and different techniques. When he would catch her gazing deeply at a painting during breaks or before starting chores, he would ask what drew her in so profoundly. "I just want to understand," Maria admitted one afternoon as they strolled through his gallery. "Each piece seems alive. They tell stories I wish I could hear." Mr. Thompson smiled encouragingly, seeing beyond just admiration. He recognized budding talent within Maria that nurtured dreams already breaking free. "Perhaps you're meant to tell those stories in your own way," he said with enthusiasm. That night, after returning to her small attic room, Maria lay awake contemplating his words. Could it be that someone like her could finally have an opportunity to create? The thought brought warmth to her heart and propelled her imagination like never before. With newfound determination simmering beneath her surface level of duty as a maid, Maria began sketching in secret during spare moments when chores allowed for it. She used an old notebook found discarded from Mr. Thompson's art library, filling its pages with quick sketches inspired by what caught her eye throughout the day. A blooming flower near the estate entryway or the gentle curves of a dancer captured mid-movement in one painting. Every stroke rekindled that feeling deep within her. Creativity flooded forth, begging to be transformed into something tangible. She could feel each pencil line capturing both light and shadow like an artist learning early phases of creation. However, Alongside joy came a tiny thread of fear tugging at her heart. What if someone discovered these sketches? What if they laughed at her naive attempts? Yet whenever doubt threatened to pull her back down into routine tasks without passion, she'd think about the breathtaking paintings hanging around her. Those colorful dreams signifying possibilities beyond mere Maid chores. Steeling herself against doubt took strength. However, part of Maria spoke louder than fear. I owe it to myself to explore this talent. Little did she know this awakening was nothing more significant than an unnoticed talent emerging from its slumber, eager to reach for beauty hidden within everyday life. The journey swirling around art was about to take shape like rare blossoms bursting through springtime earth. One sunny afternoon, as Maria dusted a vibrant painting of a sunset over the ocean, a warm breeze drifted through the open window, making the curtains dance like ribbons in the air. The colors of the painting seemed to glow even brighter in the soft sunlight, filling the room with an energy that matched her beating heart. She had cleaned this particular piece many times before, but today felt special. It was as if it beckoned her to come closer, to really feel its essence as she wiped away the dust with a delicate cloth. Maria's fingers brushed against something hard and smooth at the bottom of a nearby cabinet. Curious, she knelt down and opened the door to discover a hidden treasure. A small box filled with paintbrushes in various sizes, their bristles untouched and vibrant. A jolt of excitement shot through her as she carefully pulled out the brushes, cradling them in her hands like priceless jewels. Why are these hidden away? She wondered aloud to herself. They seemed to call out to her, inviting her into a world where she could create. The thought of picking them up sent shivers of excitement down her spine. Maria turned back to the sunset painting, and for a moment, she could almost see herself, adding her own brushstrokes to that radiant sky. What if she could express her emotions just like the artists whose work surrounded her? What if those brushes could help transform her dreams into something tangible? Fueled by newfound inspiration, Maria felt an overwhelming desire swell within her, a desire to create art of her own. Her heart raced as she set the brushes on a nearby table, contemplating what she could paint. She had often envisioned capturing beauty through vibrant colors and striking shapes, yet doubts crept in like shadows. What if I mess up? She thought, glancing nervously at the beautiful works around her. What if I am not good enough? Pushing those thoughts aside, Maria recalled the countless moments spent gazing at Mr. Thompson's paintings and how they made her feel. Each piece had inspired something within her. A warmth, a longing, a sense of connection. If they could transfer such emotions onto canvas, surely she could attempt it too. Taking a deep breath to steady herself, Maria collected her courage and grabbed one of the smaller brushes. Her heart pounded in her chest as she situated herself in front of an empty canvas that Mr. Thompson had set aside for future UIT stood there waiting. An untouched field ready for planting seeds of creativity. With trembling hands, Maria dipped the brush into some bright blue paint left behind from another project as she pressed it against the canvas. A wave of exhilaration washed over her. The color glided across the surface like water flowing over smooth stones, leaving trails of potential in its wake. It felt liberating. Each stroke was like a whisper of freedom. She painted with abandon, blending shades as they danced together on the canvas. Mixing blues and yellows for a sun that radiated warmth and joy above rolling waves she envisioned crashing on distant shores. Hours passed in blissful immersion as Maria lost herself completely in this new world of creation. With every stroke of the brush, she poured pieces of herself into her work. Memories of laughter by the water's edge, hopes for tomorrow's adventures, and dreams yet to be fulfilled. Suddenly, footsteps echoed through the hallway, jolting Maria from her artistic trance. Panic surged inside her. What would Mr. Thompson say? Would he be angry for using his supplies without permission? Her mind raced with fear as she quickly tried to clean up any evidence of her impromptu creation. But before she could hide everything away, Mr. Thompson appeared in the doorway with an expression of surprise mingled with delight as he caught sight of her masterpiece taking shape on the canvas. "Maria, what is this?" he exclaimed softly, stepping closer to examine her work. Her heart raced wildly as she stood frozen at his sudden presence. Could he see how nervous she felt? But instead of reproachful words or disappointment, Mr. Thompson's eyes sparkled with awe as he surveyed what Maria had created. It, it's just something I wanted to try, she stammered shyly, suddenly unsure. Just something? He echoed with amusement lighting up his features. This is quite extraordinary. You have a true gift for capturing emotion on canvas. Maria couldn't believe what she was hearing. Waves of joy mixed with disbelief crashed over her like the very surf she had painted. Suddenly all doubts melted away. Perhaps this journey into art was meant for her after all. Would you believe me if I told you I never painted before today? Maria asked cautiously. Mr. Thompson placed his hand kindly on her shoulder. Sometimes we don't know our talents until we let ourselves explore them. There was warmth in his voice that encouraged Maria to embrace what lay ahead. With that moment of validation from Mr. Thompson igniting confidence in her spirit, Maria realized this was not merely an experiment. It was the beginning of something beautiful, the uncovering of hidden potential that longed to burst forth like blossoms blooming after winter's chill. She had taken a leap into creation and discovered not just art but also herself. As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden glow across the mansion, Maria was completely immersed in her painting. Each brushstroke felt like a part of her soul being transferred onto the canvas, allowing her to express emotions she had never dared to reveal before. The colors danced together under her hands, blending harmoniously as she painted waves crashing against the shore beneath a sky filled with swirling hues of orange and purple. Lost in her creation, she didn't hear the approach of footsteps echoing softly in the corridor outside the studio. Mr. Thompson had just returned from a meeting, eager to check on his art collection when he noticed the door slightly ajar. Curious about the silence that filled the space, he pushed it open and stepped inside. The sight before him took his breath away. There was Maria, standing before a blank canvas transformed into a vibrant masterpiece. Her brush moved with grace and purpose, while her expression reflected both intensity and delight as she poured herself into her work. The room seemed alive, with the energy she infused into each stroke, and Mr. Thompson couldn't help but step closer for a better look. "Maria!" he exclaimed, astonished by what he saw. "What on earth are you doing?" Startled, Maria spun around, her heart racing as she looked at him wide-eyed. Everything came crashing down around her. All her fears surged back in an instant. I'm so sorry," she stammered, quickly stepping back from the canvas as if it were somehow guilty of a crime. But Mr. Thompson's face softened instead of tightening with reproach. No, don't apologize," he said with an intrigued smile. "This is amazing. You've taken such an ordinary canvas and turned it into something extraordinary." For a moment, Maria stood frozen in shock. She could hardly believe what she heard. Instead of anger or disappointment, there was genuine admiration reflected in Mr. Thompson's eyes. "I didn't mean to intrude on your precious supplies," she murmured bashfully, feeling a mix of shame and exhilaration. "Precious supplies?" Mr. Thompson chuckled lightly, stepping further into the room as he examined the canvas closely. "This is far beyond simply using his supplies. You're showcasing talent I never knew you had." Maria felt warmth bloom within her chest at his words, encouraged by his enthusiasm for her work. I found some brushes and wanted to try something," she admitted quietly, finding courage in his approving demeanor. "This is more than just trying," he replied, gesturing openly towards her painting. "You've captured not just colors but feelings. Look at how you transformed this canvas into a scene that feels alive." As he pointed out the nuances she had woven into each wave and each cloud formation above them, Maria saw how he recognized what she had feared would go unnoticed. The emotions embedded deep within every brushstroke, a rush of joy flooded through her as hope began to take root. "You really think so?" she asked tentatively, still unsure if this was really happening or just her imagination playing tricks on her mind. "I don't just think so. I know so, Mr. Thompson replied earnestly. "You have a natural ability for understanding artistry that many only dream of possessing." His encouragement wrapped around Maria like a comforting embrace. Any remnants of doubt began dissolving away like mist under morning sunbeams. "We must nurture this gift," he continued passionately. "Your creativity deserves to expand and grow. Have you ever thought about formally learning?" Maria hesitated for a moment, recalling all the times doubts had crept in concerning her place among artists or whether someone like her could truly belong in such circles. Yet there was something profound in Mr. Thompson's eyes that urged her forward instead of holding back. "I've always wanted to create, to paint," Maria finally admitted, heartened by his belief in her talent. "Well then," he declared with enthusiasm, as if unlocking new possibilities right before their eyes. "Let's start with basics, art classes and workshops where you can learn more techniques. I can introduce you to some wonderful artists who can guide you." Maria could hardly contain the excitement bubbling inside her. It felt as though doors previously closed had swung wide open all at once. Just hours ago, she had been standing alone in fear of judgment. Now someone believed in her potential and wanted to help usher it into reality. "I would love that," she exclaimed, unable to hide her smile any longer. Mr. Thompson clapped his hands together lightly with joy. "Excellent. But first things first. Let's finish your painting today together." With newfound determination sparking between them like fireworks lighting up night skies, they spent the evening mixing paints and collaborating on final touches for Maria's sunset panorama while sharing stories about art and creativity as they painted side by side. Laughter spilled out freely, filling their shared space with camaraderie and connection that transcended simple roles within a household. Maria felt liberated. She was no longer simply a maid confined to daily chores, but an artist, discovering herself through vivid colors and bold strokes alongside someone who genuinely believed in her abilities. When they finally stepped back to admire their work under the dim glow of lanterns flickering overhead, Maria realized this experience was just the beginning, not only of mastering technique, but also embracing every facet of herself long hidden beneath layers of doubt, and that moment filled with vibrant hues and endless possibilities blossoming before them like flowers unfurling. Towards sunlight, she understood one thing for certain. Today marked a pivotal shift in both their lives. As the vibrant colors dried on the canvas, Maria felt a sense of accomplishment that was new to her. The evening they spent painting together had ignited a fire within her that she thought had long been extinguished. Side by side with Mr. Thompson, she had not only created something beautiful but also forged a connection that went beyond the roles they had played in each other's lives. After finishing their masterpiece, Maria stepped back and admired their work. The sunset they had painted glowed softly under the flickering lanterns, reminding her of the warmth of their shared laughter and creativity. With every detail they added, she felt more confident and alive. "Maria, I must tell you," Mr. Thompson said, his expression serious yet warm, "what you have done here is remarkable. You possess a unique talent for capturing emotion in your art." Maria's heart swelled at his praise. It was as if he had unlocked a door to her dreams she never knew existed. "Thank you, Mr. Thompson," she replied shyly, still feeling slightly overwhelmed by the experience of creating alongside him. He took a moment before continuing. "I've been thinking about how passionate you are about art and how much potential I see in you. Would you be interested in me mentoring you?" The words hung in the air like a gentle breeze carrying whispers of possibility. Maria blinked in disbelief, trying to process what he was offering. "Mentor me?" she echoed, her voice barely above a whisper. "Yes. I can help guide you through learning various techniques and exploring different styles," he explained enthusiastically, his eyes gleaming with excitement for her future. "We can set aside time each week for lessons, and I can even introduce you to other artists who can offer different perspectives." Tears of joy welled up in Maria's eyes as she considered his offer. This was everything she had ever dreamed about. The thought of having someone believe in her enough to invest their time into nurturing her talent filled her with gratitude and hope. I would love that," she exclaimed, unable to hide the smile spreading across her face. "Wonderful," Mr. Thompson said with enthusiasm that made her feel as if anything were possible. "We'll start with some basics. Color theory, composition, and perhaps even some outdoor painting sessions in nature." "Outdoor painting?" Maria asked excitedly amidst giggles, just imagining herself surrounded by trees or beside a gentle stream with brush in hand sent chills down her spine. "Yes, nature has an incredible way of inspiring creativity," he explained earnestly. "You'll find that being outside will help with your observational skills." As they continued discussing ideas for future lessons, Maria felt as though she were floating on AI or and no longer confined to the role of a maid cleaning around masterpieces. She was stepping into the world of an artist, a world filled with color, imagination, and boundless opportunity. "Let's set up our first lesson for next week then," Mr. Thompson suggested as they finished cleaning up their supplies from their painting session. "Next week it is," Maria agreed eagerly while gathering leftover brushes and paints. Anticipation bubbled within her like a fizzy drink ready to burst free. Days turned into moments filled with excitement as Maria prepared for this new chapter of her life. Each second brought more vivid images to mind. Learning from Mr. Thompson's expertise and soaking up knowledge like a sponge thirsty for water. When the day finally arrived for their first lesson together, outside under bright blue skies dotted with cotton candy, clouds drifting lazily by, Maria stepped out wearing old but cherished clothes. She didn't care about appearances. All that mattered was embracing every moment ahead. With easels set up alongside one another under an ancient oak tree overlooking rolling hills painted gold by sunlight streaming down through branches overhead, Maria picked up her brush again excitedly. But this time it felt different. This time there was purpose behind each stroke. Mr. Thompson guided her patiently through techniques, while encouraging exploration at every turn. He never stifled creativity but rather nurtured it gently like tending to fragile seedlings breaking through soil seeking light. Hours passed quickly as laughter mingled freely between them. Stories exchanged over splashes of paint left behind. Each shared moment weaving together memories destined never to fade away. By sunset that evening, when they stood side by side admiring both completed paintings reflecting vibrant nature around them, the sky ablaze, with hues mirroring those on canvas, it became clear. Not only was this journey transforming her artistry, but it was also blossoming into an incredible bond between mentor and student, a friendship rooted deeply within art itself. Feeling gratitude wash over Maria during those twilight moments sparked realization. This unexpected mentorship opened doors wide open towards futures previously unimagined, a chance for growth waiting patiently just beyond horizon lines shimmering enticingly ahead. And so began an artistic adventure unlike anything either could have anticipated. A journey promising not only mastery over technique, but also profound self-discovery flourishing amidst colors dancing brightly across canvases yet untouched. As weeks turned into months, the bond between Maria and Mr. Thompson blossomed beautifully. Every lesson they shared brought them closer together, weaving a tapestry of friendship that bridged the gap between their different worlds. Alongside easels in the garden or nestled beneath their favorite oak tree, laughter and stories flowed freely, entwining them in a shared love for art. Maria found herself looking forward to each Saturday, when she would gather her paints and brushes, racing to the mansion with excitement bubbling inside her like a newly opened soda. Their art sessions became special moments where worries faded away, and their conversations flowed seamlessly from technique to life aspirations. One sunny afternoon, while painting a landscape filled with lush greens and vibrant flowers, Mr. Thompson glanced sideways at Maria as she focused intently on her canvas. "You know," he remarked playfully, "sometimes I think you're better at capturing the essence of nature than I am." Maria chuckled, wiping paint from her hands onto an old rag. "I don't believe that for a second. You've spent years honing your craft. I'm just a beginner. But some of the best artists were once beginners like you," he encouraged, his voice warm and reassuring. "It's your unique perspective that makes your art special." Encouraged by his words, Maria found herself sharing more about her life, her dreams of becoming an artist and the fears that had once held her back. "I grew up dreaming of painting sunsets like the ones we create together," she confessed quietly as she added soft strokes of yellow to her canvas. "But I never thought I would have the chance to do it." Mr. Thompson listened intently, nodding as she spoke. "Art has a way of allowing us to express feelings we can't always put into words," he replied thoughtfully. "You're brave for pursuing it, Maria. More people need to embrace their passions." Their conversations often wandered into deeper topics too. Maria's childhood memories and struggles, as well as Mr. Thompson's own journey through life as an art collector. He shared stories of how he had built his collection through years of dedication and passion for discovery. His tales were filled with adventure and creativity. They fueled Maria's desire to explore more beyond herself. One evening, after a particularly thrilling painting session under the stars, when the air was crisp and filled With possibilities, Maria finally mustered enough courage to ask him something that had been on her mind for quite some time. "How did you become so knowledgeable about art?" Mr. Thompson smiled softly, eyes shimmering with nostalgia. "It all began with curiosity," he said slowly. "As a young man, I fell in love with art's ability to tell stories. Each piece holds history within its strokes. I hope one day my art can do the same," Maria replied earnestly. "I have no doubt it will," he assured her with conviction. "Each stroke you take is part of your own story unfolding." With every weekend spent together learning new techniques and exploring local galleries, Maria found herself growing not just as an artist but also as a person. Gone were the insecurities about fitting in. Instead, she thrived in the environment Mr. Thompson nurtured. A space filled with encouragement where no judgment clouded creativity. On rainy days when their outdoor sessions were interrupted, they gathered inside his studio. A sanctuary lined with beautiful artworks, and painted while talking. About everything under the sun. Favorite artists, travel adventures, even their favorite foods. They became confidants who shared dreams and supported one another in personal growth. Yet even amid laughter and artistic camaraderie, Maria sometimes caught glimpses of her past self, the maid who once felt confined by walls separating her from pursuing dreams, toiling in corners without ever feeling truly seen or appreciated for her talents until now. Then one afternoon during a leisurely lunch break, beneath flickering candlelight in the studio's cozy nook after an exhilarating painting session, Mr. Thompson looked at her thoughtfully once they had finished eating. A glimmer in his eyes suggested something more profound. "Would you ever consider showcasing your work?" he asked gently while setting down his cup of tea. Maria's heart raced at the thought. The mere idea ignited a fluttering feeling deep within. Was he serious? I've never thought about it," she managed hesitantly. "It's time for people to see what you've created," Mr. Thompson encouraged earnestly. "You deserve recognition for your talent." The prospect felt both thrilling and terrifying. What if no one liked what she created? Yet each time they shared moments painting together brought clarity. Expressing herself freely through art was meant not for others' approval but rather as a way to connect deeply with herself. As months passed further along this journey together, Maria learned that every vibrant color she blended represented not just talent but transformation. The friendship forged between them transcended simple teacher-student dynamics. It became rooted deeply within appreciation. A partnership inspiring both growths beyond previous boundaries laid down by circumstance or class differences. Through shared brushes dipped in paint under warm sunlight's embrace, they painted not only their canvases but also a new beginnings filled with friendships forged amidst creativity found awaiting discovery, testaments celebrating passions yearning desperately to be set free. The days of painting and laughter seemed to stretch blissfully before Maria as she continued to grow in her artistic journey with Mr. Thompson. Their friendship flourished, grounded in mutual respect and a shared passion for art. But just as the sun seemed to shine brightest, casting a golden hue over their relationship, an unexpected revelation loomed on the horizon. One sunny afternoon, after a particularly invigorating painting session, they decided to take a break and enjoy tea in the garden. The fragrant flowers bloomed all around them and Maria felt lighter than air, her heart full of joy as they sat among the blossoms. Mr. Thompson's demeanor shifted slightly. He appeared contemplative, as if wrestling with something hidden deep within. "Maria," he began slowly, his voice contemplative. "There's something important I need to share with you." Maria looked up from her cup, sensing the seriousness in his tone. "What is it?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. Mr. Thompson took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts. "You see, my family has been involved in the art world for generations, and behind many of these paintings lies not just beauty but a complicated history," he explained. "Complicated?" Maria echoed. Intrigued but unsure what he meant, he nodded solemnly. "A few years ago, I inherited this collection under unusual circumstances. My grandfather had amassed these pieces over decades, but there were darker secrets tied to some of them." The weight of his words settled heavily in the air between them. Maria leaned forward, eager to understand more. "Darker secrets? What do you mean?" Mr. Thompson glanced around the garden, as if checking that no one could overhear. "Some of these paintings were acquired through means that were questionable," he admitted cautiously. My grandfather was known for his extraordinary eye for beauty, but also for making certain choices that crossed ethical lines that he often used unscrupulous methods to obtain rare works. Maria's eyes widened in shock. You mean, some of them might be stolen? Yes, he replied quietly, shame evident in his voice. It's a stain on our family name, a secret I've kept hidden from everyone, including my closest friends. Maria's mind raced as she processed this revelation. The paintings she admired so deeply now felt tainted by uncertainty and conflict. But what does that mean for you, for your collection? I've struggled with this burden, Mr. Thompson continued, his expression filled with both regret and determination. I want to find a way to right these wrongs, to reclaim the integrity of our family and the artwork itself. Maria's heart sank at the implications of his confession. Could this affect their artistic endeavors together? Would it change how people perceived his work? Yet beneath her concern lay admiration for Mr. Thompson's honesty and courage to confront such a troubling past. Have you thought about reaching out to the rightful owners or museums? She suggested carefully. Yes, he replied with a nod of approval at her insight. I've considered it intensely but feared potential backlash or scorn from others in the art community. I think you're doing the right thing by being open about it, Maria encouraged gently. If you're honest about your intentions, perhaps it could help others learn from your family's mistakes. Mr. Thompson smiled faintly at her optimism, but then sighed heavily as though the weight of history bore down upon him like an anchor dragging him below waves of regret. Thank you for understanding, he said softly. Is there anything I can do to help? Maria asked earnestly. Just keep creating, he answered warmly, placing a hand on her shoulder as if grounding himself amidst uncertainty. Your talent brings light into my life, and perhaps into this collection too. The conversation hung heavy in the air, filled with tensions and implications, but also with renewed purpose and hope for the future ahead. It sparked within Maria a deeper appreciation for not just art but for integrity in creation itself. How every piece could embody life's complexities despite its outward beauty. After their talk faded into contemplative silence, Maria took a moment to catch her breath amidst swirling thoughts. She now understood that artistry was intertwined with life itself, filled not only with wonder but also struggles. In following weeks, alongside their painting sessions filled with vibrant colors and laughter among blooming flowers, Maria noticed subtle changes within Mr. Thompson. He seemed more resolved than ever to confront the shadows lurking behind his family's legacy. Together they began researching different artists' stories, including challenges faced while pursuing authenticity, learning lessons that resonated well beyond canvases. Their friendship deepened. Further still, a bond fortified not just by paintbrushes dipped into vibrant colors, but also by shared vulnerability rooted deeply within truths that brought forth growth. As they painted under stars or gentle sunbeams filtering through trees above, each moment became less about mere technique and more about understanding life's intricate narratives woven through each brushstroke. The bond forged between them endured through turbulent revelations, and although unsure what lay ahead concerning Mr. Thompson's journey toward redemption, Maria felt emboldened knowing they would navigate whatever came next together armed with honesty at its core. As Maria stood in the garden, the warm sun bathing her in golden light, she felt a swirl of emotions. The news about Mr. Thompson's family and their questionable past with the paintings weighed heavily on her heart. It was both a revelation and a burden, forcing her to confront the reality of their friendship and the world that surrounded it. In many ways, she had stepped into a new life filled with color, creativity, and mentorship, something she had always longed for as a maid confined to routine tasks. Yet, with Mr. Thompson's confession came an emotional turbulence that challenged everything she had come to admire about him and his art collection. Her thoughts drifted to her own humble beginnings, the small attic room where she had dreamed of becoming an artist while scrubbing floors in grand homes. She remembered watching people in wealthy circles, always feeling like an outsider bound by limitations defined by her station in life. Now here she was, standing at a crossroads that could lead her deeper into that world or pull her back. What does this mean for me? Maria murmured under her breath as petals floated gently down from nearby flowers. She felt torn between two realities. one of poverty that offered familiarity and the other of wealth tinged with complexity and moral dilemmas. As days passed after that afternoon filled with revelations, Maria spent hours contemplating the choices before her. Painting sessions continued with Mr. Thompson. They created beautiful pieces together, sharing laughter and stories as they explored local galleries or painted side by side under trees' embrace. Yet every stroke on canvas also brought forth echoes of doubt. One evening during one of their painting sessions beneath the glimmering stars, Maria set down her brush and took a long breath. "Mr. Thompson," she began cautiously, breaking the comfortable silence enveloping them. "I've been thinking about our last conversation regarding your family's past." He paused mid-stroke as he turned to face her fully. "Yes, I'm grateful for everything you've done for me, the mentorship, the guidance. It has opened doors I never thought possible," Maria continued earnestly. "But part of me wonders if I belong here among all this beauty when I know how tainted its origins might be." Mr. Thompson regarded her thoughtfully, allowing silence to create space for reflection before responding. "You are not responsible for my family's actions," he said gently but firmly. "Your talent deserves recognition regardless of others' choices. Yet, isn't it hypocritical to thrive in a world built on questionable morals?" Maria replied quietly, feeling vulnerable but compelled to express herself honestly. "It is complicated," he admitted while brushing paint across his canvas thoughtfully. "But confronting those truths allows us to grow, to learn from mistakes made in history." "But what if I choose to pursue my art independently?" she asked suddenly, driven by determination yet afraid of what it meant for their relationship. Mr. Thompson placed his brush down carefully and turned toward her fully again. His gaze softened with understanding yet held firmness within it too. "If you feel that pursuing art apart from me is your path, then you must follow it," he stated clearly. The thought hung heavy between them. Could she really leave behind this burgeoning friendship that had brought so much joy into her life? What would it mean for their connection? "I don't want to lose what we've built together," Maria admitted earnestly as tears brimmed in her eyes unexpectedly. "You won't lose me?" Mr. Thompson reassured gently with warmth radiating from his presence like sunlight through trees overhead. Yet even so, there was resolve behind his expression at the same time indicating both acceptance and encouragement toward independence. Maria wiped away an escaping tear, gathering courage as clarity washed over her. Perhaps embracing independence didn't mean severing ties completely. It could signify growth arising amidst uncertainty instead, with newfound resolve igniting within her spirit like vibrant colors fresh off a palette. She envisioned herself showcasing art inspired by their shared moments while honoring every step toward authenticity along the way. And so as days rolled forward like waves crashing upon shores patiently waiting, Maria began drafting plans. Carefully considering future exhibitions where not only would she share creativity, but also lessons learned interwoven within each brushstroke on canvas representing resilience against adversity faced head-on. A testament celebrating artistry emerging from history's nuanced complexities. Yet even amid excitement bubbling anew alongside dreams expanding like horizons stretching wide, a small part of Maria still held gratitude close for having met such a remarkable mentor who illuminated pathways, leading ever forward beyond walls once constructed out of fear. That I end choosing this new direction for herself filled abundantly with hope. Maria understood one thing above all else. Every moment spent creating art alongside Mr. Thompson became part of who she was destined to become. A voice within artistic narratives crafted through vibrancy flourishing amid past shadows now transformed into profound expressions shared openly reflecting vivid connections formed through honesty. As the seasons changed, so too did Maria's perspective on life. The days spent painting with Mr. Thompson not only honed her skills as an artist, but also solidified her belief in the importance of authenticity and integrity. With every brushstroke, Maria found herself peeling back layers of doubt and insecurity she had carried for so long. The vibrant hues on her canvas reflected her evolving spirit, a testament to the transformation she had undergone in such a short time. Maria's experiences in Mr. Thompson's world began reshaping her understanding of wealth and status. Initially intimidated by the opulence surrounding her, she came to see it through a different lens, one that highlighted the complexities of human relationships and the stories intertwined with each piece of art. She realized that beauty often had shadows lurking behind it, Much like life itself. One sunny afternoon, they decided to host a small art show in Mr. Thompson's garden, inviting friends and fellow artists to view their collaborative pieces. They arranged the artwork under swaying trees adorned with fairy lights. Maria could barely contain her excitement. This was a chance not only to showcase her talent, but also to share the journey she had taken alongside Mr. Thompson, the mentor who believed in her when she hardly believed in herself. The day of the art show arrived, buzzing with anticipation. People strolled through the garden, sipping refreshments as they admired the paintings that adorned makeshift easels. Laughter and lively conversations filled the air, transforming the once quiet space into a vibrant celebration of creativity. Maria felt a sense of pride swell within her as she observed guests engaging with their work. "Maria, come over here," Mr. Thompson called out to her from across the garden, where a small group had gathered around one of their paintings. A captivating sunset with waves crashing against colorful rocks. "These guests are eager to know your story behind this piece." With a mix of nerves and excitement, Maria approached the gathering crowd and took a deep breath. "This painting represents my journey," she began, her voice steadying as she spoke passionately about how each element reflected her growth as an artist and as an individual. "For me, art is not just about beauty. It's about expressing emotions and experiences, finding light even in darkness." As she spoke, Maria noticed how people were captivated not only by the painting but also by her words. The honesty and vulnerability resonated deeply with them. Eyes sparkled with understanding as they connected with her story, and for the first time, Maria felt truly seen. Following the show, several attendees approached Maria to express their admiration for both her work and her inspiring story. In that moment, she recognized that this world, once foreign, was now filled with possibilities beyond what she had ever imagined. Later that evening, as twilight descended over the garden, Maria found Mr. Thompson sitting alone on a bench beneath twinkling stars hanging like jewels against the night sky. She joined him quietly, feeling gratitude wash over her. "Today was incredible," she said softly, watching fireflies dance around them. "It truly was," he replied with a content smile. "I'm proud of you, Maria." She turned to him earnestly. "Thank you for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself." Mr. Thompson regarded her thoughtfully, an earnest expression crossing his face. "You've inspired me too," he admitted. "Your courage to confront challenges head-on reminds me that wealth means little without authenticity in our relationships." Maria nodded deeply. Their connection had shifted something profound within both of them. They were no longer defined by social classes or past mistakes but rather bound together through mutual growth and understanding. In those quiet moments together beneath a blanket of stars, Maria reflected on how far she had come. From a maid with dreams hidden away in corners to an artist sharing her voice boldly with the world. She understood that embracing this new path didn't mean abandoning where she came from. Instead, it meant honoring every part of her journey while stepping into a brighter future. With each passing day spent creating alongside Mr. Thompson, painting under sunlight or exploring galleries together, Maria recognized how intertwined their lives had become. They were creating not only art but also a legacy built upon friendship founded on honesty and support. The impact of this shared experience reverberated throughout their lives long after that starry evening. A reminder that true connection transcends wealth. It is rooted deep within shared dreams and aspirations cultivated through understanding one another's complexities. As seasons continued to change around them like colors blending beautifully on canvas, Maria embraced all possibilities ahead. She would continue chasing her dreams unafraid, armed with newfound confidence and profound friendships, shaping who she was destined to become. A voice filled with vibrancy, thriving despite past shadows, transformed into expressions celebrated openly.